Hello, can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure that my sound is working because I'm on my laptop. Can you guys hear me? Yay! So I'm glad my sound is working. Hopefully my Wi-Fi will stay on because my Wi-Fi be acting up sometimes. But thank you for everybody who has showed up so far. Hey, how you doing? Y'all can probably see that my anxiety levels are pretty high right now. So we'll see how this go. So how you guys doing today? Guess we're gonna wait for more people to join. But how are y'all doing today so far? Hey, Aisha. Hey, Raquel. Hey, Tiffany. I think I saw Darion as well. I don't know if I pronounced y'all names right, but hopefully I did. Cool, cool. Tiffany said we're letting a few more people hop on. Cool. Aisha or Aisha. I don't know if it's Aisha or Aisha. She said not too good, but alive. Oh, I hope you feel better. Stella's here. Hello, Stella. Oh, cool. I'm so excited to see everybody joining. Oh, okay. Cool. So hopefully everybody will be able to join soon. It looks like we have about 5 people so far, so that's pretty good. I'm glad that that many people showed up. Thank you, Aisha. I'm glad I'm doing it too. I'm very nervous because like me and cameras we don't mix, but I'm trying my best. Oh yeah, them oxtails. That's one of my favorite foods, so I had to throw that in there. I love me some oxtails, extra gravy, white rice, plantains. So yeah, definitely that lunch scene and a husband, boyfriend, and side dude. Yeah, that definitely had me hungry too. Y'all probably gonna see me drink a whole lot of water during this. It's probably one of my little anxious ticks or something. I don't know. For real, Stella, you said that you haven't had oxtails in the longest. You need to go get some. I need to go get some. We all need to go get some after this video. So wherever you are, if a place that sells oxtails is open, everybody need to go get some after this video is over. And if you haven't tried it, you need to try it tonight. That is terrible. Tiffany says she the title had her weak and she knew the title but was so shook by what was going on. Yeah, me too. Me too, definitely. Even though I'm the one who I guess wrote it, but I knew that that title was gonna be like kind of like okay, a husband or boyfriend and a side dude. Like what this chick got going on. So, but it was a fun story to write, but it was kind of sad how it ended. But that's how life goes sometimes, unfortunately. The crock pot with the black eyed peas. Wait a minute, I'm gonna need a FedEx plate. I would definitely need a plate sent via FedEx. I'm scrolling down trying to read. Never had an oxtail. Oh no, you got to get involved. After reading this thread and after if you read that book, The Husband Boyfriend Side Dude, you definitely got to get you some oxtail, white rice, extra gravy. Ask for that, and you'll fall in love with it. Hi, Tola. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Hi, Tola. No oxtails in your area. Oh, that's no fun. But you can make them in the crock pot, like Todd was saying. You can make them in the crock pot. My sister just made some a couple weeks ago, and they were excellent. So if you can find them, they're kind of expensive though. So if you I know some grocery stores sell them. You can get some, make them in a crock pot, and be on your way. You probably make them better than how they make them in some of the restaurants. She sure was. She was going in all different types of directions. Wait, you haven't had oxtails, Tiffany? Right, they are expensive. A vegetarian. Oh yeah. Yeah. They definitely would not fit underneath vegetarianism, unfortunately. Um but yeah. Yeah, all the friends yeah, the friends well actually not all the books though. Betrayed, yeah, she definitely has some trifling friends. And then in the husband book, Sienna was a trifling one. Everybody else is cool, but she was a trifling one. Uh and then what was the other one? The Uber driver. Uh, in that one, they had some pretty good friends though, so that was a plus. But in Betrayed, yeah, nobody was safe. Everybody was trife. Oh yeah, I'm trying to scroll down. My laptop is running kind of slow. Oh, I pronounced it perfectly, Tola. Oh, excellent. Okay, that's cool. So, for those of you on here who have read like all three of the quick reads, the Betrayed, the Husband, and the Uber Driver, which one did you like the best out of all three, or did you feel like they were kind of equally the same, or which one did you enjoy the most? Oh, okay, all right. So we're gonna discuss Husband first. Ty, you said you like the Husband one the best. Yeah, I feel like that one was probably, I don't know. I like that. I like that one. I like the Uber driver one too. But I feel like that one was the most multi-dimensional, so to speak, because you had all these different side stories, all these different side people that she was dealing with. So I definitely think that that one was the most multi-dimensional out of all of them. Of the three men, which was the one I wish she stayed with? Um, I actually kind of wished it would have worked out with Trent, like if he could have forgiven her. But at the same time, like most, and I actually had asked a few men, like I think I put up like a poll or something, and I asked like a few men, like if you're like, let's say you were married and you found out that your wife cheated on you, would you forgive her? Or would you just walk away? And most of the men, like the overwhelming majority, said no, they would just walk away. Some said that if it was like a stranger, like somebody that they were not in the family, they would. There's a possibility they would stay with her, but they said if it was somebody they knew, like their friend, their brother, their cousin, or something like that, they were they. It was deuces basically. So I kind of felt like it was more realistic for him to leave based on the overwhelming majority of those responses. So I wish it worked out with Trent, but at least she got camera. Oh, Tiffany said she loved the Uber driver one the best. Yeah, I like that one too. I feel like that one was like kind of like a good way to like end the year, so to speak, like a year end type story or release. So, because it was like a true love story that wasn't like it had like a happy ending and all that good stuff. So, and it was something a little bit different too. Oh yeah, definitely the PTSD. And one misconception about PTSD, like a lot of people, um, feel like it only affects people in the military. It only affects people who have been like overseas, et cetera, et cetera. But PTSD is something that not only can it be suffered from by pretty much anybody in society, it's also you can have multiple forms of PTSD. So you can have like relational PTSD, like Sylvia did, and you can also have PTSD due to like a car accident. And another thing that people don't know about PTSD is that the thing that you suffer from it for, it doesn't even have to have happened to you. Like you can just have heard about something happening to somebody else and you get PTSD from that, or you can observe somebody else deal with something traumatic and you get PTSD and they don't, which is kind of weird. So it's like our brains are wired in such a way where we can have trauma that we didn't even face ourselves and then have PTSD from it. So I felt like that was really important to integrate into that story. And I have suffered from PTSD as well. I actually had an accident recently that kind of led into that story, or at least the idea for that form of PTSD that she suffered from. So yeah, it's a real phenomenon. A lot of people suffer from it, not just PTSD, but anxiety in general. So mental health, very important. Just scrolling down 1 second. So many articles about hood PTSD. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, and even people who have been to like prison, they actually suffer from a form of PTSD, but it's called post incarceration syndrome. Basically, so where like they're in this environment for however long they're at, where it's years, months, however long they're in that environment, and when they're trying to reassociate back into society, many of them end up right back where they came from because of PTSD or because of post incarceration syndrome. Like they're not used to being out in the outside world, so to speak. So it takes some adjustments, and you feel like the environment while for you to realize that it's not. So like there's a whole lot that people don't know, a lot of misconceptions that people have about PTSD, and then also the hood PTSD, as Stella said. A lot of people who have come from poverty, a lot of people who suffer from like low socioeconomic status, they have suffered from PTSD from having like their lights turned off as a child, or having to live in foster care, or having some other traumatic experience occur with them that has caused PTSD. And it could cause other issues outside of PTSD as well, but that's just what we're talking about today. So any questions anybody had about the husband book? Tola says that she'll be getting the novel. I appreciate that. Thank you. Please leave a review. Who is my favorite character? Well, Aisha says, where can she get the books? They're all on Amazon. All of my books are on Kindle Unlimited as well as regular Kindle. And then the 3 novels that I have, those are available in print as well. So all are available in the e-version. The 3 novels are available in print. The quick reads will be available in print pretty soon, but all are on KU, all are on Kindle, all are on print, at least for the novels. So if you just go on Amazon and type in my name, you should be able to find the books. And I'll put the links after this video finishes. I'll put the links in there so that anybody who's interested in the books will be able to go see them. And she says, who was my favorite character in the husband book? I would say, this is probably going to sound kind of bad, but I would say my favorite character in that one was Xavion. And just because he was so blunt and he was so rude, but he was like kind of real at the same time. So that was my favorite character in that book, or at least the favorite one to write, so to speak. Ta says, I wonder if the snitch friend was sleeping with the side. Oh, that would be an interesting twist though. But no, she wasn't. She wasn't sleeping with him. But that would have been an interesting twist if she was. Like the reason why she's so trying to blow up Sienna is because she low key is with him too. So that would have been interesting if he got all 3. That would be terrible. How she see loose booty go in his house if she wasn't there? Right, 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 right. That's a good observation. How she sees Sienna, she was herself. Like, why was she in the neighborhood all of a sudden? I don't think she ever answered that question in the book. The links are in. Oh yeah, right. So the links are in the post as well. Right. So she never answered that question though. I mean, maybe there'll be a part 2. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Rachel got a couple tricks up her sleeve. Hi, Nicole. Did Sienna have a sex addiction? That was actually something that that I don't want to say wondering, but that was something that I kind of like felt was probably true for her. I feel like her most underlying issue was that she was greedy and she was discontent. So like she had like the perfect life, so to speak, like the life that everybody says that they want. You see all this stuff about like relationship goals where you have somebody that cares about you, somebody that's faithful. Y'all both working a job. You got your house. You got whatever it is that you need. She had everything that she needed, but still she was discontent. And she was also kind of greedy because not only did she go cheat on her husband with one guy, she actually found another guy on top of that. So she had a husband, a boyfriend, and a side dude. So she was just greedy and also discontent. Like she just wasn't happy no matter what. So no matter what she had to have more, pretty much. So I think a sexual addiction um, would definitely fall into that. I think it was more so greed and discontentment, but I think the sexual addiction definitely, especially since she was sleeping with like I think in one part of the story, she actually slept with all three of them in one day. So that was kind of like, that's deep. So uh, Stella says before reading, she thought Betrayed was a sequel to Husband. No, but it's ironic that you mentioned that because I will not say this 100%, but Betrayed Part 2 is coming out. It's already on pre-order, but there might be a Betrayed 3. And if there is a Betrayed 3, Sienna's husband may link up with Kamaya from Betrayed. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it might happen. And if it does, it will be in Betrayed Part 3. But Part 2 is on pre-order, so you can go check that out if you want to. It's coming out officially on the 18th, but it's on pre-order now. Tiffany says, where did the idea for this story come from? This story was mainly just like creativity, pretty much. It was just being creative, and also like I had the title in my head for like a while, but I didn't have the story to go with the title. But then the story started to come to me in pieces, so I started to write it. And also, it's kind of like a counterculture message too, because we have a lot of these like women's empowerment, feminist movements and stuff, which are great. They're wonderful and they're much needed because of all the disparities, all the discriminations. I think I think in addition to the fact that there's all this disparity that's going on, there's also kind of like another side of it that's becoming extreme to where people are like women are put on such a pedestal to where we're seen as perfect, we can do no wrong, it's only men who do wrong in relationships, it's only men who cheat, etc., etc. So this was kind of like a counterculture to that, and also to like provide sort of like a balance, so to speak. So yes, we need women's empowerment. Yes, we need feminist movements. Yes, we need like all these things to uplift females, but we also need to realize that females mess up too. So that was one of the reasons for this story. Aisha said, that sounds interesting. Thank you. You might like it. A lot of people seem like they like it so far. Anybody else have any questions about Husband? Will there be a sequel to Husband? Um, not. I don't think that there will be a sequel to Husband itself. But if there is a Betrayed 3, then Sienna from Husband will be in Betrayed 3. So that's gonna be kind of interesting. But the ideas are starting to flow in that direction. So we'll see how that go. We'll see if it happens. If it happens, how it go. Aisha says she's definitely gonna check it out. Thank you. Let's see. Any more questions for husband? So does anybody have any more questions for husband before we move into betrayed? Going once, going twice. Excuse my little notes in the background. I guess this is this side, not this side. But excuse my little notes in the background. I have like I'm trying to be organized and stuff, so I have like my little marketing notes. I have other stuff up there, back there. I'm just gonna put my hand down. I got all types of calendars and stuff. Excuse my little writing. All right, so who was my favorite character in Betrayed? Let's see. Um, this is gonna sound terrible again, but my favorite character in Betrayed, I would have to say, is Kamaya, which is terrible. I'm noticing a pattern here, but yeah. So I would say that Kamaya was my favorite, only because she was so trifling, and so much fun to write, so to speak. Thank you, Aisha. Aisha's backing me up. She says, "Don't worry, we all crazy. All writers are crazy." So yeah, I guess it's okay to be crazy as a writer, and it's okay to write the most trifling people into your stories. Even though Xavier, in my defense, Xavier was not trifling. Well, actually, yeah, he was kind of trifling. So never mind. But Kamai was definitely trifling. And her triflingness city will continue in Betrayed Part 2. You will see if you check it out. It's on pre-order now, but it'll be out on the 18th of this month. So her triflingness continues in Betrayed 2. And if there is a Betrayed 3, it'll even further progress in Betrayed 3. So just a hater. Yes, she is like the definition of she's a certified hater, Tiffany. Absolutely, absolutely. Certified, hands down. If you look in the dictionary, you will probably see her face somewhere in there throwing shade. So yes, Kamaya is definitely a hater. Um, Stella says she read parts of Betrayed to her husband, and he walked out the room shaking his head because he's not a drama person at all. Yeah, it was terrible. And that one was actually meant to be like dramatic. I kind of wanted it. I don't know if I accomplished this, but I kind of wanted it to have the feel of like a silly screenplay type thing where like the characters are just bouncing around and one's being trite as possible, one is just completely without a clue, one is just following behind everybody else, and the other one trying to figure out how to fix this. So it was meant to be like kind of like a symphony, but a cacophony at the same time, where everybody's like just crazy, basically a bunch of drama and a bunch of silliness. That's how that was meant to be portrayed. I don't know if that was accomplished, but that's at least what I meant to do. The sister was terrible. Yeah, yeah, she was terrible. But in her defense, if you could even call this a defense, um, as it was said, she's always been a follower. She's always been looking up to other people, not really making her own decisions. I think we all know somebody who's like just a follower. Like whatever anybody else do, they do it. And then by the time they realize that what they're doing is wrong and could potentially cause issues in their life, it's too late. So Ileana is one of those people who's just unfortunately a follower, and in this case, a follower to the worst degree, that you would do something like this to your own sister and not even realize what you're doing until it's already done. So it's terrible. But yeah, I agree. Mission accomplished. Oh wait, mission accomplished about the silliness and drama. Hopefully. Why did I choose that ending? Because and you'll find out more about this in part 2. But the reason why I chose why I chose that ending is because Kelvin is kind of the awkward, weird friend who has good intentions, but he just does weird and awkward stuff sometimes. So if you read earlier in the story, you see that he's like tracking her on social media, like tracking where she is. Like, who does that? Well, I know some people do that, but why would you do something like that? So he's kind of like weird, so to speak. And then this, because of his character being like kind of weird and trying to figure out what to do at the same time, he knows that what's being done is wrong, but he decides to make this decision or make this confession because he feels like that will be the lesser of the three evils, so to speak. He feels like that would be the best confession that could be made at that time, because he knows Kamaya's not going to say nothing, and he feels like the little sister would probably hurt her more if she confessed. So he feels like if he confesses, he's like the less of the three evils, so to speak, which is terrible reasoning, but that was his reasoning. And we'll find out more about his weirdness in part 2. She would think that she fallen in love with him. Yeah, that was a part of it too, but the larger part was just him being weird and stuff. So he's just a weirdo, which is I mean, we probably all have a friend like that, or at least have known somebody like that who will do stuff that we're like, why did you do that? So yeah, but yeah, he did like June as well. So that played a role as well. But the larger part was just him being weird and making bad decisions, which he'll continue to do in part 2. Right, right. So he did do it out of love. Like he didn't do it with malicious intent. He did do it out of love. Like he was like trying to protect June because he felt like it would be the less of the evils, et cetera, et cetera. But also just because this makes a lot of bad decisions. Uh what can we look forward to in the sequel? So in Betrayed Part 2, you will see all the characters once again, and you will see how the aftermath, so to speak. So all this stuff that has happened in book 1 pretty much is leading up to her finding out that she's been catfished this whole time, which is terrible. And that's actually the fact that she was catfished was one of the things that I wanted to highlight in the story, because a lot of people have probably seen the show Catfish, et cetera, and they probably seen some of the accounts of what happened afterwards, or the person finding out and having that moment of reckoning, even though they kind of suspected it all along. Then they find out that it was actually a catfish. They weren't actually talking to a real person who cared about them, et cetera, et cetera. So this was just to kind of like highlight the awareness of how what might be seemingly like a joke to you, or might be seeming like something that is harmless or a prank, how it could really affect somebody else. Because June is like many women who is really looking for somebody to fall in love with. She's actually genuinely thinking that she's fallen in love with this guy and he's fallen in love with her, and then come to find out it was all just a big joke. It was all just a big game. So in the sequel, we're seeing the aftermath. Like, we see it leading up to it in this book. We see the final revelation, like, yes, you've been catfished. Yes, it was not only have you been catfished, it was somebody in this room who catfished you, somebody who you trusted. But then now in part 2, we're seeing like the aftermath or the outcome of that. And then there's also some new things that happen in part 2 as well. I won't speak too much on it, but you'll see when you read it. I done drank this whole water bottle almost. Where did I get the idea for the story for Betrayed? Actually, where I got this idea was this was the first quick read that I ever wrote, and I got this from the group actually. So there was like a prompt that somebody put up, and it had like a picture with three people, and it had a female standing like in a kitchen, and it had a guy and a girl on the phone, and it gave the names. It gave the names Kamaya, June, and Ileana. It gave those three names, and the guy in the picture was saying, "I know everything," and the prompt was to write like 250 words based on that picture. But for me, like way more than 250 words came. Like I was just writing at first, and I was like, okay, 250 words. I'm gonna try this out and see what happens. I've never done this before. But then it like started growing and growing and growing, and I was like, wait a minute, you might have something here. So then it became like the whole story, and I was like, hey, let's just publish this, see what happens. And then that's how it came to be. So that's where the story came. It came from the Big Black Chapters group. So that's one of the reasons why I love this group, because there's so much inspiration. Like the prompts really get you thinking. Like a lot of the stuff that is posted in the group will definitely foster creativity. It's giving me the ideas to do these quick reads, really. Like the inspiration in a large part has come from this group. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the support, the encouragement, the advice. Like there's so much, I could go on and on, but I really think that this group is good for readers as well as Black authors. I haven't seen I've seen like other groups out there, and I guess I don't know about all of them that exist, but the ones I saw before I saw this group, or before I was invited to this group, there wasn't any of this in there. Like I didn't see any of this. I just saw a bunch of people posting their books, and that was it. Like there was no interaction, there was no feedback, there was none of that. It was just buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, and nobody was buying it anyway. So, but I'm really grateful for this group for all of those reasons. Oh yeah, definitely much inspiration in this group. So shout out to Raquel. Shout out to anybody else who may have played a part in creating this group. I've benefited greatly from it, so I really did. Oh yeah, also in this group, I put up a post for beta readers for one of my books, and the amount of reviews that I got was triple after asking or putting out that request in this group. So that's how much support is given here. So I really appreciate that. Yes, yes, yes. The Kev on Stage post, absolutely. Because I think he put up a post about some books that were created, and I put a comment. I was like, everybody else posted their books, so hey, let's try it out. And some people actually bought it. And then Tiffany had reached out to me and said, hey, do you know this group? And I was like, no, I never heard of that. But then here we are. So I really, really appreciate that. Oh, thank you. She says she appreciates my constant activity in the group. Oh, thank you. I get a lot from this group, a whole lot. Just the support in general. Oh, I love how you guys support each other. That is so cool. Tiffany said she's just the hype man. But this was definitely a great idea. Definitely. And I can see it like growing and expanding too. So I really appreciate this group. Any more questions for Betrayed? So does anybody else have any more questions about Betrayed? Once again, the sequel, or I guess part two to it, is out on pre-order now, and it will be officially released on the 18th. So that's in like a couple weeks or so. But speaking of that, I do have like a challenge, so to speak, that I wanted to present to the group, so to speak, or anybody who's watching this video, or anybody who sees it afterwards. If you screen me in some form or fashion, whether you want to send it in my inbox or if you want to put it in this video, if you screenshot me a review that you have submitted to Amazon or Goodreads or whatever, for any of my books, whether it be the quick reads or the novels, if you screenshot me a review that you have submitted, then I will send you a free PDF copy of Betrayed Part 2. So I'm just putting that out there as a challenge, partially because I need reviews, and partially because I thought it'd be kind of cool to get a free book out of the deal, so to speak. Um, but yeah, so if you screenshot me either via inbox or via on this video somewhere, your review of the any of those books, you will get a free copy of Betrayed 2. Hopefully I said that right. Tiffany says, let's get into Uber. Oh yeah, let's get into the Uber. The beginning of Uber driver transported me there. What do you mean as far as like PTSD? Or do you mean as far as like a previous accident that you've been in? I done drank all my water now. Let's see. Tiffany says she wants her free copy so she can read it early, but she'll wait because she wants to buy it. Aww. I appreciate that. See, that's that support right there. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, growing as an author is kind of difficult, but it's kind of fun at the same time because you see like how you progress as each year unfolds. So I really appreciate the support from any and everybody who provides it. But yeah, I appreciate you wanting to buy a copy. Who was my favorite character? In Uber Driver, my favorite character was Roland, which y'all probably already knew I was gonna say that. Actually, no, I liked Roland and I liked Katina. I liked both of them. They were both cool. I feel like Katina was that friend that we probably most circles have a friend like this who's like stands their ground, who's very like can get ratchet if they want to, but also has a very good heart and is very supportive and will push you when you need to be pushed. So I liked her, and I also liked Roland because of the fact that he was a person who he made his in his life, et cetera, persevered past that, and he didn't route out or take the giving up route. He persevered and he pushed so that he could make it and pursue his goals. So I would say that Roland also he was kind of ratchet himself and kind of funny. So I liked him and I liked Katina. So I would say it was a tie between those two in terms of my favorite character. Watching her story happen and feeling what she was. Yeah, yeah, and so many people have gone through trauma in their life with relationships, or even it doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. Sometimes, like even friendships and stuff will bring you trauma, like when you realize that you've been betrayed, or you realize that a person has done you wrong, and you didn't realize that they were doing you wrong until the worst possible moment. So that's extremely traumatizing. So I could definitely understand how people could relate to that or feel like they were feeling what she felt or seeing what she saw. Oh, Tiffany says she likes Roland too. She says he was her favorite. Yeah, Roland was a true. He was a good guy. Will there be a sequel to Uber Driver? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so though. Probably not. But we'll see. Maybe something will come later on. But at this point, I would say no, which is unfortunate. But it was fun while it lasted, right? Did you wait? I'm reading this all wrong. Did you have to do much research for the PTSD theme? No. Partially because I teach psychology, so and I also have 2 degrees in psychology and one in sociology. So I didn't have to do much research on PTSD because I teach it every semester, and also because I've suffered personally from multiple forms of PTSD myself. So it was kind of like, even though I didn't suffer from the exact same ones that she did, except maybe the car accident part, I could definitely infuse what I've been through in the past, as well as what I've read about in the research that I've already, conducted, et cetera, for teaching on PTSD. So I didn't have to do much research for it because of those reasons. Was there a significance to having both main characters suffer from a broken heart due to dealing with cheaters in their past relationships? Yes. Yes. There was a significance to that. I would say the first part of it was just to show the relatability, once again, with like not necessarily a counterculture message, but kind of like raising awareness, so to speak, because there's like a prevalent view out there that um, that females are the only ones who kind of suffer from heartbreak, suffer from being cheated on. They were fake, and the dude cheated on. It happens to men too. So it was partially to raise awareness that it happens on both sides. So men get cheated on, they get their hearts broken, they don't want to try again. Same thing happens to females. So both of them were pretty much in the exact same predicament. They had both been cheated on, they had both been betrayed, they had both had their hearts broken, and neither one of them was really interested in trying to find another relationship because of the trauma that they encountered as a result of their heartbreak. So that was one of the significant pieces to that. And the other piece was like the internal dialogue that goes on when you encounter somebody new. So if you notice, like through the story, when Sylvia and Dontrell are interacting with each other, like they'll say things to each other, but their internal dialogue will be different. So like she'll say something and he'll interpret it different from what she meant to say, and then vice versa, basically. So their internal and their external dialogues will kind of be different from one another, and that kind of points to how like men and women may process things differently too. So he might see it as she being stuck up. She sees it as, oh, he thinks I'm an idiot. So it's just like it was basically for those 2 reasons. Number one, to raise awareness, and number two, to highlight the differences between men and women in a lot of cases with relationships, communication, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to scroll down, but Raquel says her kids won't let her be great. She's missing everything. Oh, I'm sure they're blessed little angels. They just want you all to themselves. Uh-oh. Tiffany said she tell her children, sit down. Let's see. Uh, oh, wait, uh-oh. Tiffany says, any more questions for Uber? She has general questions for me as author. Uh-oh. I feel like I'm going to be in the hot seat. But feel free, anybody who has any questions about Uber, before the other questions come forward. Oh, wait. You said you was talking about her kid. Oh, that's so cool. She said, sit down. Hopefully they listen. I'm surprised my Wi-Fi is still working. I'm so happy though. I think it cut out once in the beginning, but it's been going strong. So I guess laptop from here on out. If I ever do another live video, because my phone is just evil. I tried to do I did a live interview on my phone, like I think it was October or something. I don't know what month it was. One of the months, probably August. Um, but I did a live interview on my phone and it kept cutting out. It was terrible. But laptop seemed like it's working. Um, Tiffany says, "What is the significance to you to censor the curse words? I thought that was different and so nice." Basically, there's two sources of significance. Well, I won't say two sources of significance. I'll just say one source of significance and then one just preference. The first source of significance is that when I first put my first book out, it was a Christian fiction novel. And I know that a lot of Christians don't swear and they don't agree with swear words. So that was the significance to that. And also I found after that a lot of readers don't like to read swear words in their books. So I was like, okay, well, we'll bleep those out. There'll probably be a whole lot in there, but we'll bleep them out. And then the other thing is that I personally, which may sound kind of weird from reading each and every one of those books that are out there, I actually don't swear as part of my vocabulary. I used to a whole lot, profusely. I used to swear, but I don't swear. I haven't sworn in like a long time, like years and years. So I actually don't swear as part of my regular conversation. So basically just those two reasons, just to have respect for some of the readers that are out there who want to read like a clean, so to speak, book, and also who don't see a lot of swear words. And also me, myself, I don't swear, even though my characters do. So that was the significance for that. Hi, Shakita. I'm not sure if I said that right. She said she forgot all about this, been running crazy. I definitely know the feeling. Right, right. She said, "See, I swear a lot. I need to work on it." I used to swear a lot. Like I used to swear like almost, almost every like other sentence. But then, like what started, or like I guess I was beginning, was I would just start like instead of saying the swear word, I used to just say like something stupid. Like it was just so stupid that like why what was the point of even saying that? Like I would just make up a word that had nothing to do with nothing else. And then I felt so stupid saying that word that I just stopped cussing. So I don't know if that worked for anybody else, but that helped with me. Pick my favorite book from all three quick reads. Who would you cast if it was made into a movie? Oh Lord. Oh wait. What's that dude's name? Who played on the? I didn't watch Bird Box, but I seen the actors. I don't know the dude's name, but I'm gonna need him to play Dontrell in Uber Driver. I think his name's like Trevante or something like that. The one who played on Bird Box. I don't know his name, but I'm gonna need him to play Dontrell, and I'll be Sylvia. She said I said it right. All right, I'm glad I pronounced your name correctly. Let's see, let's see. I'm trying to scroll down. Uh-oh. Tiffany says she's married to a sailor. Uh-oh. Kids over there acting up. Oh. Oh, his name is Trevante? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna need him to play Dontrell, and I will have my debut acting career as Sylvia. Matter of fact, there will be a sequel if that happens. Right. You know what? There's there's nobody there that possibly played that role correctly besides him and me. So I'm gonna brush up on my skills, go out there and try to try to audition, or I'm gonna put that in the contract. I'm gonna be like, look, the only way this can happen is if I pick the male actor and I be Sylvia. So we'll see how that go. He probably married or something, or 19. Who knows? Do I have a Muse music? What is it? No, I'm one of those people who that is hilarious. Todd says her husband already told her that she's not doing any love scenes with her books or movies. I know that's right. I know that's definitely right. But I'm single, so. But Tiffany says, "Do I have Muse music?" No, I'm one of those people who likes to write in dead silence. I mean, I can have stuff like I can have like people talking to stuff in the background, but I prefer to like write in silence because I could focus more when it's silent, which is kind of weird, but that's my thing. It looks like it bleeped out again. I guess we're back now. Uh, mute the TV and everything. All right, so I got somebody in my corner over there. Tasha said she mute the TV and everything, so I can definitely read that. Let's see. Um, what questions do you wish readers would ask, but they never do? Hmm. uh, um, no idea. That is a great question, but I have no idea. What do I wish they would ask? Hmm. I don't know because like this it probably happens to everybody, but people actually do ask questions. Like they do. Like I'll get people like that have either emailed me or they'll inbox me or something and say like, oh, I was wondering about this, or oh, reading your book made me think about that, et cetera, et cetera. So I can't say that there's necessarily a question that I wish people would ask, but I will say that that people do. Yeah, you definitely stumped me with that one. That people do say they do ask questions like on the low, and also they do inbox me about stuff that they have learned or observed or related to based on the stories. But yeah, I was definitely stumped with that one. That's like right up there with tell me about yourself. Don't ask me that question either because I have no idea how to answer that. I'm one of those people that will say, tell you what about myself? Like what do you want to know? What category? What area? So why do I write? Um, there's a number of reasons why I would say that I write. Number one, I feel like it's a call. Like I honestly feel like, well, I've been writing like pretty much all my life, but I feel like it's like a call. Like I'm a Christian, so I believe that God has called me to write these stories. And then another reason why I write is because I like to read stories that were relatable So therefore, I wanted to produce more works that were relatable to people and realistic, because I feel like there's like a lot of real stuff that people go through that is hard to grapple with. And sometimes you don't feel like you have anybody else. Like we can have all these people around us and we feel like there's nobody who can relate to what we went through. But even if you just read it in a book or whatever, you'll see that there's somebody out there who went through it too, pretty much. So is one of the purposes is like helping people to heal, helping to raise awareness, helping to provide a little light here and there, and helping to just keep things realistic, so to speak. So those are some of the reasons why I write. Let's see. You don't want to know the real me. She said, I hate when people ask me. Yes, okay, yeah. So I'm not alone with that one. And you said she don't want to know the real me. She wild and crazy. It's a tough question to answer. Tiffany says, what would be the ultimate accomplishment for you as a writer? I would say the ultimate accomplishment, which I've seen some of that so far with at least my first book, Even Me, and the sequel to that book. And even like when things go left, I'm talking about the novels now. These are not necessarily the quick reads, but with the novels, I would say my greatest accomplishment or ultimate accomplishment, so to speak, would be to hear a reader say that they've read the stories and they found somebody that they related to, and they had the same situation, and now. And I've had that actually happen. Like I've had people inbox me and or email me and say like, what Felicia went through is what I went through, or what this person went through is what I went through, and it helped me. Like reading those stories actually helped me. So that's one of the reasons why I write. Aside from like being humorous, aside from like telling a story, is to touch people's hearts basically and reach those areas that are not easy to reach, and reach those areas that are kind of vulnerable for people, so to speak, and help bring healing. So if that happens, then I would say that would be the ultimate accomplishment. Do any of my characters relate to anybody I know? Yes. Not just people I know, but like things in society, people that I've encountered in the past, mentalities that I've observed. A lot of me goes into them too. So like it's basically from all around. So it's for me, for people I know, people I don't necessarily know but I've seen in passing, situations, society, media, everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere is where the characters come from. Let's see. How do you come up with the name for your characters? Um, they kind of just come. Like first, the way it'll happen is first the character will come to me. Like either a scene will come, or I'll have a dream or something like that, and it would just be like right now, and I'll just start writing blah 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 blah. And as the character starts to unfold, so to speak, I'll be like, so what's this person's name? And then the name will just come. So they just be coming, I guess. I guess I try to I guess the names kind of like maybe unconsciously I try to figure out a name that would fit with what this character is going through, or the situation that they encounter. So that's pretty much where the names come from. Do I outline? Sometimes. So with some stories I have outlined, and in some stories I just started writing and just never stopped. Like for instance, the newest series that I'm gonna put out in, well, I guess this year. I was gonna say next year, but this year, in the summerish, I'm gonna be putting out a new series, and the overall title for it is For My Good, and there's 3 different books that are gonna be released in that series, and the first book in that series I didn't outline at all. Like literally, there was like a scene that just kept coming over and over and over again, and like I just simply didn't get that I needed to write it down. But eventually one day, like after a couple months, it occurred to me, it was like, maybe you should write this scene down since it's been like badgering you for the past couple months. So I actually wrote the scene down and just never stopped writing. And the book was finished 4 days later. And it was like a full-fledged like story. So sometimes I outline, sometimes I don't. Do I handwrite or use computer? I started off handwriting. Like with the first book that I wrote, I have like I think 3 or 4 notebooks with the first half of that story, and then I transferred it to the computer. But now I don't necessarily handwrite. What I'll do is sometimes I'll write like my little notes up here, and then sometimes I'll like use like voice notes on my phone, or I'll text myself or email myself or something to the parts of the story or the parts of the character or whatever it is that they're going through. So I don't necessarily handwrite anymore. I just do like voice text, or I have like my little notes. She says, who is my target audience? Mm. that is a good question. I have no idea. Like I have, well, I guess I can't say I have no idea, but I have like I don't know, like I think women, but men do like the stories too, though. So like I really don't know how to answer that question. Like I feel like I want everybody to read it, but I know everybody can't be your target audience. So I'm still trying to figure that out at this point. So I don't know. I don't know who my target audience is, but we'll figure it out sooner or later. Chris Moore says that they love this. Oh, I appreciate that. Let's see. Who is my favorite author? I don't have a favorite author, and I would say the reason for that is because like I read like a bunch of different genres. Like I'll read like urban fiction, but then I'll read like science fiction, and then I'll read like mystery, and like I just have like I read a little bit of everything. So I can't say that I necessarily have a favorite author. I just like to bounce around and read different books, and I'll read new authors. Like it doesn't even have to. I don't when I read it doesn't have to be an author that I'm familiar with. So I can like a book by pretty much anybody as long as it's interesting and as long as like it's well written or well told, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. So I wouldn't say I have a favorite. Chris loves my work. Oh, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate that. I'm trying to scroll down. Let's see. Let's see. What is my favorite book? Same thing, pretty much. Like I don't have a favorite book because I same answer pretty much. I read pretty much everything, so I don't necessarily have a favorite. I have books that I really like, but I wouldn't say that I have a favorite, so to speak. Chris says, "How do you develop characters? They all seem so realistically done." The way that I develop them is based on situations that I've seen or encountered, and that's probably why they're so realistic. Is because they come from real places. So like they come from either things that I have experienced myself, or somebody I know has experienced himself, or something I've seen in the media or seen in society or somewhere else. So like they all come from real places. I don't think any of the characters so far have been like completely and utterly made up. Like some elements are made up, but the core of the characters is something that I've seen before. People have seen it before. What can we expect in 2019? Well, my goal for this year is to release 12 books, but we'll see how that go. I got like I got like 5 that are written already and need to be like edited, etc., etc. And we just gonna have to work on the other 7. I almost forgot how to add for a second there. But I'm gonna try to release 12 books. But this month, Betrayed Part 2 is coming out. It's already on pre-order, so if you go to Amazon, type in Betrayed or just type in my name, that's probably easier. Just type in Tanisha Stewart on Amazon. It's on pre-order. So if you want to get that one, it's coming out on the 18th, but it's on pre-order now. Then I have books lined up through the end of the year. But as I said, only about 5 of them is written, so we'll see what happens with them other 7. So we'll see how that go. How many books do I plan to publish? 12. I'm gonna try to do 12. She said, "Well, that answered my question." Yeah, but definitely 5 though. But we'll see about that 12. And the craziest part about that is like, with my first book that was released, Even Me, that one actually took like 6 years to get out because I went through all types of trials, tribulations, writer's block. I went through like pretty much anything you could think of while that book was being developed and written. And then finally get it edited and get it published. That took like 6 years. But then after that, like the books just started flowing. So like, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's a call, because it's like an internal pull or an internal push to write. Like it's like I'm just driven to do it. So hopefully it will continue to drive all the way through that 12th book this year, and we'll see how that go. Tiffany says, last question from her. If you were to turn one of your books into a graphic novel, what other graphic novel would you want it to resemble? I have no idea. I have no idea at all. I don't even know if I'm sure what a graphic novel is. I'm just like trying to configure a definition based on the words. I'm assuming it involves pictures, but I could be wrong about that. I have no idea though. Oh wait, what artist would I get to draw your graphic novel? I don't know. I'm not familiar with a lot of artists, so I'm not sure about that one. But that's a good question though, because that would be an interesting twist. Chris says she loves this. She says she feels that way about writing too. Something that she can't help. She feels a savior calling. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely feel like for at least some people, I don't know if it happens with everybody, but I do feel like it's like a calling for some people. Like I could see the gift in some of the authors that I've read, like even in this group, I can see that some are like, just good writers, but I see that some have a gift and there's some kind of calling somewhere in there. So I definitely agree with that. Shakita says she loves these discussions. Yeah, cool. Graphic novel equals drawing. So I was right. She says, Ivory or Bon Ivory says, have I missed the whole live discussion? Well, we here. We're here. You still here. Comic book. I had a feeling it was comic book, but I didn't want to say that. But I'm glad that it's right though. But I have no idea. I don't really know a lot of comic book artists, so I'm not sure how to answer that question. And writing job is pretty well. Jobs are pretty flexible. Like the classes that I teach online, so I only had to teach one class on campus, so that was easy. And then the other ones were online, so I could really the way my jobs work. Like I do like driving as one of my jobs. I do babysitting. I do a little bit of everything you could think of, but all my jobs are kind of flexible to the point where I could write around them. So that's how I'm able to balance writing while I'm doing these various jobs. Chiquita says she started a couple stories in high school and keep putting them down. Those high school stories, definitely revive those. In fact, Even Me was like the 6th book that I actually wrote. The other 5 books that I wrote in high school, and one of those was the When Things Go Left. I actually wrote that book, like half of it, before way back in the day in high school, and then that book actually became a new series. I didn't know it was going to be a series, but it actually became a new series. So yeah, definitely revive those books that you wrote in high school. Bring them back if you want to change them around, or if you want to keep them the same. Definitely revive those. Um, if you need help or anything like that, you can feel free to inbox me if you need, like, if you want to bounce ideas off or anything like that. I'm definitely willing to help. Uh, Tiffany says, my first book I've been working on forever. I could definitely relate to that with the Even Me, because that literally took 6 years. Like, and I know some authors who've taken like 12 years for their first book, and like some have taken even longer than that. So it's definitely it's different for different people. So, but I can't wait to read your first book, Tiffany. I can't wait to read it. So please, please, if you can get it out in 2019, I'll be a beta reader, I'll be a reviewer, whatever it is that you need. So I can't wait to read your first book. Sakita says she's trying to, but can't seem to find time to focus on them or get writer's block. Oh yeah, that writer's block is brutal. I would not wish that upon anybody who likes to write. I would not wish that upon you. It's very hard. But I would say one thing that may help with that, I'm not sure if it will, but it helped me recently, is if you just set aside a time where you know that nobody's going to interrupt you, et cetera, and just like force yourself to write, even if it doesn't even seem like it making sense to you at all, even if the sentences seem incoherent, just start writing and don't stop for like that 30 minutes or that 15 minutes or however how much time you have. But just try to set aside that time, like early or late or out on lunch or whatever, and just write it. Or if you don't want to write, if you have a voice recorder on your phone, record something. Just start like saying something that sounds like a story or something that is related to one of the stories that you were writing, and that might help to like bring it forth, so to speak. Oh, wait. Amaya says that she literally just did that. She a book that she had for a scholarship. She just revived. See, there you go. There you go. Them old school books, them throwback books, definitely revive those. Sometimes they're so timely. So I would definitely do that. It's coming this year. Yes. Okay. So shout out to Tiffany. Tiffany's putting her book out this year. I can't wait to read it. Uh, Bon Ivory says, thanks for being such a supportive sister. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And everybody in this group seems very supportive, so I appreciate that. I usually am afraid to finish my book due to the subject matter. Um, I mean, there's probably somebody that needs to read it. And then sometimes when you're writing something and you feel like, oh, I shouldn't write this, et cetera, it's not even like, sometimes we can be our own like critic, so to speak. So what you write might be something that's needed out there. So I wouldn't be afraid to write it due to the subject matter. I would just like, if you have a friend or somebody that you trust, or somebody that you know will give you honest feedback, just tell them what your story is about, or tell them like basically like the backdrop or the premise of your story, and then they might be able to let you know, like give you a thumbs up, or so to speak, or say, oh yeah, I could definitely see people liking this or whatever. And then if you want to send it to me, you can send it to my email or my inbox or whatever, and I'll look at it if you want. Let's see. Hold on. I think I done messed up. Hold on. Usually afraid. Kind of impossible with kids. Yeah, see, I don't have any kids, so I guess that's another reason why I'm able to write. So yeah, but if you could find anything, anything at all, I know it has to be difficult with the little kids, but if you could find an inkling, a moment to try to get something out there, I would definitely try. Um, do you write your book chapters in chronological order? Yeah, but for some reason, all my stories come in chronological order. They all just come from beginning to end how they are. Like I might have an idea of how it's going to end before I actually start writing, but the way that the sequence of how it's written is usually written directly, like in order, pretty much. Uh, let's see. Wait, I love this group. I ignore my other writing groups for this one. That is hilarious. Uh, I can only write late at night in complete darkness and silence. I can definitely relate to that. I need complete silence. So I definitely I can definitely relate to that. Uh, I'm trying to scroll up and scroll down because I think I missed some. Let's see. Force yourself to write when they go to bed. Yeah. So listen to Tiffany. She knows. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I think I read all the comments. I think. But yeah, for anybody who might have just logged on, I do want to say again that I have like a little challenge, I guess, going on. To if you screenshot me either via inbox or on this video, a review that you have posted either on Amazon or Goodreads for any of my books, then I will send a free copy of Betrayed Part 2, which is coming out this month. But I'll send you a free copy of that book. So inbox me or post your screenshot here under this video of a review of any of my books because I'm trying to get more reviews. And also I want people to read Betrayed too. So anybody who sends me that screenshot or posts it on this video, you will get a free copy of Betrayed 2. So I just wanted to say that. Right. Lively discussion, absolutely. And thank y'all for helping me to calm my nerves. I think I'm at about 10% as far as nerves right now. So that's good. 10 is good. I was at about 120 earlier. So y'all have definitely helped. So does anybody have any other questions about the books, about writing, about me as an author, any of that stuff? Oh, I appreciate you guys for having me. Like I was surprised when I seen the notification in the group. It was like January book discussion. I was like, whoa, wait, that's my name. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for giving authors this opportunity to have these interviews or to answer questions about their books. So I definitely appreciate that. No nerves are showing. That's a plus. That's definitely a plus. You couldn't tell I was nervous. Well, you probably came in late. You probably came in late that you couldn't tell. But yeah, I was definitely nervous, very nervous in the beginning. I was like, now what did I write again? I don't remember the title. I don't remember the characters. I don't remember none of that. One more question. Did you see an increase in sales or KU reads from the event? Um, I'm not sure because I had just did a free promotion like last month, I think, and usually that kind of like leads to an increase for like a couple months or so. So I'm not sure if the increase was from the event or not. But But that's definitely a good question, and hopefully it will continue to increase. So anybody want to read the books? Pick them up. They're all on KU. So all my books are on there. If you just search my name, Tanisha Stewart. I have 6 books. I have 3 novels and 3 quick reads that are all out now. One quick read that is on pre-order. So if you want to read them, leave a review, post a screenshot. We're in there. Tiffany says that's the point for these. We want you all to get sales and exposure. Definitely. I think even outside of this event, I've definitely gotten more exposure and more sales just from joining this group. Like just from joining the group. Period. I think I've definitely got. This group is definitely working. It's a very dynamic group, and hopefully, from this event, it will continue to increase in exposure and in sales. So I imagine that it will. So I appreciate that. Tyler says we must do another of her books. Y'all trying to kill me now. But I'll be open to that. I'll definitely be open to that. Do I prefer book clubs in person or online? I haven't really had any book clubs in person. Like I've never like really had a book club that I've been to that's been like in person before. But I definitely like the online one because you can read it any time of day. You can like if somebody posts a book, you can just go directly click the link to go get it and read it, et cetera, et cetera. So I like the online, even though I have never experienced the in person. I imagine the in person will probably be even more intimate, but I haven't personally experienced that, so I'm not sure. Tiffany says all the links are in the event, all the quick reads. Right. Check them quick reads out. If you like those, check out the novels. Leave a review. Post your screenshot of your review. Get you a free copy of Betrayed too. I tried to make that rhyme. All right, let's see. She will be back. Uh-oh. So I guess I'm gonna be back at some point in the future. We'll see. Am I near Atlanta? No. I'm in Massachusetts. Uh, yeah, I guess I won't die. I guess I won't die, Tyler. Let's see. Exposed. Right. So that's a way to look at it. I like how you frame that. Not die, but get exposure. Right. I appreciate that. That's a nice way to look at that. But this was fun though. I really like this. This is cool. I didn't think I would be able to answer the questions. I thought I was gonna forget everything about these books. Like, did you write? But I'm glad that I was able to answer the questions. So um I was gonna book you for that's no fun. But I wish I could go. Used to work in Chicopee. See, that's right around the corner because I'm in Massachusetts. So like Chicopee is like literally like 12 minutes away from where I am. So I wish you were in Chicopee still, or I was in Atlanta. We have had so much fun. Yes, we definitely have. I appreciate all of you guys. Um, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like an hour or 2 hours. I'm not sure. So just let me know. I don't know if I'm going over time or something. Just let me know. Um, and we can wrap it up. Come to the A. That would definitely be a nice trip. Uh, and I don't think I've ever been to Atlanta, but I've lived in Georgia when I was like 8. I lived there for like 2 years, but I don't remember much about it. I just remember like the schools I went to, and that was about it. But I don't think I've ever been to Atlanta before, and I would love to be warm at this moment. So it's definitely. Let's see. As you what? uh, all right. Well, does anybody else have any questions or anything um, about the books or author stuff? for any of that. Oh yeah, I do offer proofreading services for anybody. I know a lot of people have put posts up in the group about looking for somebody to like proofread, et cetera, et cetera. I do offer proofreading services as well for anybody who's looking for an affordable rate for their proofreading. I know everybody doesn't have thousands of dollars to spend, but they just need at least somebody to look over the grammar, spelling, punctuation, all that good stuff, organization, characters. So if you need that and you're looking for an affordable price, feel free to inbox or email me. My email address is tanishastewart.author@gmail.com, or you just inbox me. Let me know. And Ta says she enjoyed this. I enjoyed you guys too. This was fun. I really appreciate everybody who participated, everybody who asked questions. Shout out to this group. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to Raquel. Shout out to everybody who participated. Bon Ivory says, I was late, however, who inspired and loved with my Uber driver? There was a number of inspirations, so to speak. I was trying to figure out if inspirations was a word, but it is today. So a number of inspirations for that. The first one was I actually had a car accident like the month that I wrote the book, or it might have been the month before I wrote the book. I had a crazy accident where somebody hit me from behind, pushed me into oncoming traffic. Then I got hit from the oncoming traffic and pushed back into the other lane. So I was like, ooh. So that was an inspiration, if you could use that word. Also, Tiffany had, and Tiffany, right when I was thinking about writing it as a story, Tiffany had either inboxed me or wrote something and said, hey, you should write a story about your accident. And like, so I took that as confirmation. I was like, it's in there. We're going to do this. And then my brother, at around that same time, my one of my younger brothers, he sent me a text saying, you need to write a story about your accident. So like, I got all these types of confirmations all at the same time. So I was like, boom, let's do this. So that was the partial motivation or inspiration for In Love with My Uber Driver. It looks like LaDonna has joined. Hey LaDonna, how you doing? Um, another thing I did want to say is for Betrayed too, like I was thinking about doing a to Betrayed for a while. I think just I do it, etc., etc. But another author from this group, Lil, she actually either sent me an inbox or something where she said, you need to do a part 2 to Betrayed too. And like that gave me like the final push to put part 2 out. And then now there may be a part 3 in the works. So shout out to Nicole Hill. She definitely gave me that push to write the part 2 to Betrayed. So this group is just an inspiration all around. Definitely inspiration. So I really appreciate it. But it's past my bedtime. so so if nobody else has any questions or anything like that, I'll be rocking and rolling, rolling and rocking, I guess. Tiffany says she was appreciative of the dedication. I appreciate you. You were definitely a muse for that story. I definitely appreciated you for that. You definitely provided confirmation, so that was really cool. Hey, LaDonna, how you doing? So does anybody else have questions about any of the books or the author stuff or anything like that? Go to bed, man. It's been real. Yeah, see, I'm trying. I don't be knowing how to close stuff out. But yeah. So good night to everybody. One last time, I'll say that post your screenshot of your review to either this video or send it in my inbox of a review of any of my books for a free copy of Betrayed 2. And good night. Thank you for everybody who participated. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the group. I appreciate Tiffany and Raquel for allowing me to have this opportunity. God bless. And that's it. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all next time or the next group discussion will be in here. All right. See y'all later.